But next week when I'm in Texas, I plan on braving my first ever Black Friday sale.
For your viewing pleasure.
It's very dangerous, but I'm going to do it for you. And today I thought it would be appropriate to look at 10 weird ways Irish people shop. And we have the lovely folks at peddler.com to thank for bringing this video to your eyeballs. At Peddler, you can skip all the madness and shop the lowest sales in the whole of Ireland. Yep, they're even lower than Amazon and what's going on here? You can't say that. Well, they are though. They're better bang for your buck. There's a link to Peddler in the description, and they've started Black Friday early for you. They're adding more deals every single day. I was thinking I might get one of those cool Roomba thingies, or maybe a coffee maker, cause coffee. My tummy's down there. Coming in at number 10, in Ireland there's a specific day of the year when people from the countryside travel to Dublin to get all their stuff for Christmas time. This is December the 8th. Now, some of the younger generations might say this is a little outdated, but it definitely is a thing that still happens. December the 8th, town will be full of people from the countryside doing their shopping. The reason they chose December the 8th was because traditionally in religious Ireland of Catholicism, it was the day of the Feast of the Immaculate Conception, and loads of schools would be off so they could bring the kids up, and even some workplaces would be closed on December the 8th. Not anymore though. Big department stores used to even give out special deals if you got the train up and give you discount codes to go into their stores. There was a real community spirit about the whole thing, and families would shop together. Some people still do this as part of their own personal traditions, but it definitely doesn't go on all the time, or to the extent that it used to. In at number 9, looking at the statistics, Irish people when it comes to retail tend to buy things from import, while tourists tend to more often shop in Irish stores themselves. That's stuff that's been made in Ireland and distributed in Ireland. I guess that's probably to do with globalization. We see stuff that's popular on television and on our favorite celebrities, and we just kind of want to follow suit. But when people come into Ireland, they want to bring a little piece of Ireland back home. And that's why they go home with a suitcase full of Aran sweaters, which are actually quite chunky and probably hard to put in a suitcase. However, when it comes to buying food goods, Ireland is up there with buying their own produce. Irish people tend to buy homegrown vegetables, meat that comes from Ireland, all that kind of thing. And so Irish people do tend to develop good relationships with people like their local grocers and their butchers. I actually do know my butcher. He gives me good deals and recommends things. Thanks, local butcher. I don't know his name. Oh, I know his last name because that's the name on the front of the shop, but yeah. Next up, there are an assortment of weird things you'll specifically see in an Irish shopping centre. A couple of those things include a random fountain in the middle of the mall.
Why are you there, random fountain?
Apparently it's good luck to throw a penny in. I don't know why you need luck when you're shopping. Maybe I'll find out when I go see the Black Friday sales in America. I don't know if that's a thing that happens in other countries. Let me know in the comments. Do you guys have fountains in the middle of your shopping centres? We also tend to have a random car that's like up for raffle, and it's always a really generic car, and everybody enters the raffle, but nobody ever really finds out who won the car. What's that about? Outside of the shopping centres, you'll usually find some random monument and you've no idea what it means, but people tend to take photos beside it for some reason. I don't know. Next up, charity shops have become extremely trendy in Ireland, to the point that sometimes now you'll find certain charity shops selling things for more than the recommended retail price. This is because they would consider their goods to be niche and things that you can't necessarily get anymore. But you can get very cost-effective stuff too. There's buying by weight, which is a big thing now. By the kilo, you spend a certain amount of money. Also, even regular charity shops have stepped up their game. They've started to colour coordinate things, put things in size order, and shopping in charity shops is not such a drag. Charity shops are definitely a cool place to go now in Ireland for shopping. I would know because I'm the coolest. The next weird thing Irish people do when they're shopping, and it's something you guys flagged with me in my grocery walkthrough. You couldn't get your heads around the idea that we borrow the trolley. Okay, so let me break this down for you because people were really confused. You don't rent the trolley, but in a way I guess you kind of do. You go put €1 in, take the trolley around the shops, and then in order to guarantee that you bring the trolley back, you put it back in its slot and you get your €1 back. We also have the thing to do with bags, where bags cost 10 to 15 cents. So usually when people go grocery shopping, they'll bring their own bags. It's all to do with saving the environment, you know? What is this? And no, you don't have to rent baskets or anything. You can just have them, or, you know, the wheelie baskets, those are free too. Although they do have security tags on them. I guess there's an epidemic of people who steal trolleys and baskets from shops. Got a life, lads! The next thing is something that's come up pretty recently with the opening of a big drive-through. Irish people are very excitable when it comes to novelty. So this drive-through opened recently and there were cars queuing around the block. Apparently people were getting out of their cars and getting into arguments and stuff like that. It was a whole big deal. So I guess we're kind of excitable about weird random things. I can't think of another instance, but maybe actual Irish people will let me know in the comments of any other instances they can think of where Irish people have been overly excitable about a novel thing. Coming in at number 4, it's how differently Irish men and Irish women shop. Irish men have become quite woke in recent years and they're definitely getting more fashionable, but bringing a guy to the shops with you does tend to be an arduous thing for them. And having worked in retail, I kind of get the mentality here. When a woman goes into a store, she'll pick up every item of clothing and look at it and look at all the different sizes, and as a person who works in a shop, you're just like, just stop unfolding everything. And then we'll go and we'll try on like 5 things, and I could very well leave a shop and not buy anything having tried on like 12 things, which is extremely annoying for the person who works there. By the way, these are generalizations. That's how lists work, you know? Let's not take it too seriously. If you're a lady who just gets in and gets out, that's cool. Whereas when guys go to the shop, they'll go in with a specific task in mind. I need a short-sleeved white t-shirt. And they'll go into the store and they'll pick out their size and they might look at 2 different options, but they usually won't even bother trying it on. They'll just pick one and buy it, and tough if they don't like it when they get home. Having worked in menswear for 5 years, that is my experience. Guys go in, they buy the thing they want, they get out. Again, I'm sure there are guys who don't do that and like to browse, but generalizations. List. The next weird thing that Irish people do when it comes to shopping is we have a special day for shopping for school, and we also have special school shops. But these operate in a wide variety of ways. So when it comes to buying your uniform, you could go to the family shop down the road that will sell your school uniforms, and they are pros at sizing and all that kind of thing. Like, they will look at your child and they will tell you what size they need. Or you could go secondhand in your school. Most schools tend to have secondhand sales, and this is because kids grow out of their clothes so fast, and usually you'll get pretty much next to new stuff for your kid. That's a popular thing to do here. There are also specialist bookshops for kids' school books, and I remember there being a frenzy when it came to a particular maths book every year. All the parents would scramble to try and get this maths book, and yes, we say maths, not math. But it was like they'd released the Tamagotchi when it came to this, because everybody for some reason always shopped on the same day. I don't know why that is. That's not a particular date, it just happens by the school, like all the parents confer and decide, oh, we're all gonna go shopping on this particular day, and just wreck each other's heads. Coming in at number 2, we like to keep the children amused while we're shopping. In Ireland, when you walk into a mall, you'll usually find a creche for children, and it's usually pretty young children who go in here. So as a parent, you'd walk in, you'd pick up your trolley, and you'd drop off your child with a complete stranger. I mean, they all have to be qualified and vetted and everything to work in a creche, but yeah. Our shopping centres also tend to feature really, I'm talking like from the 60s and 70s old dodgy animatronics. And kids will scream and kick until they get to go on the animatronics, and they're really lame usually. But the kids like it, I don't know. I mean, they do have more up-to-date ones in the malls now, but it's the old-fashioned ones that make it really Irish. I mean, some of those things will qualify for museums, you know? They've also started to bring in those little car things that you can push kids around in, and I would imagine as a parent it's quite frustrating to have your buggy and your car thing that you have to push the kids around in, and all your groceries and stuff, so yeah. And coming in at number 1, it's how Irish people handle sales. We do have Black Friday here, but it's not necessarily such a big deal as it is in America. It's more the summer sales and the Christmas sales in general that get people to be kind of passive aggressive. When I see the footage of people in America ripping each other's hair out and all that kind of thing, it's quite alien to me, but what you will experience in an Irish sale is passive aggression. So you'll be going to lean into a rail and somebody will like swivel their body around so that you can't get into it. Or you'll often hear very close to your ear. Packs of friends will suddenly become louder to intimidate you away from the rail that people want to go at. Oh, hi, Chewie. So Irish people aren't outright aggressive, they'll do it in a more sly way. I love Irish people, we're so wonderfully weird. Just a reminder, this is going to be my last video before I go to Texas. So if you would like to support me a little bit, do check out the links in the description below. And also we have a couple of patrons to thank for today's video. And this is Eric. Eric very kindly offered to take Chewie for a week. He said he could chill out on the beach, but Unfortunately, Chewie's quite sensitive to the sun, so he's just gonna hang out in Ireland instead. Thank you so much, you rule! This month, Jason Moir, I hope I pronounced it right this time, would like to shout out his late father, James, who was a war veteran. Vets Day was actually this week in America, and Jason would like to encourage other people to donate to the Wounded Warrior Project. It helps injured vets and their families. That's so lovely, thank you. And that's it. See you guys next week. For your viewing, for your views, and she could very well. Hi, Chewie. Say hi. Say hi, Chewie. Say hi. Say hi, Oh. Irish people tend to buy homegrown. Irish people tend to Go home, Diane. You are home.